Hi everyone, this is Lanier Smith from Sense Memory, and I'm just getting ready a few days before my dinner party, planning the meal and the cocktails and all of that good stuff. I will be serving champagne to my guests, and the champagne for the main course for dinner will be this beautiful Moet Chandon champagne, which we will be having, and I'm really, really excited about that. It's so delicious. And I haven't decided yet on what cocktails. I may use this Nicolas Viollet champagne from France for making champagne cocktails, or I might make Vesper martinis, or perhaps something sweet like lemon drops or something like that. Now for my main hors d'oeuvres, I'll be having different kinds of cheese, Gruyere and Brie, and some other, maybe some smoked Gouda and some caviar. And also I will be serving from the Bergdorf Goodman cookbook, one of my favorite hors d'oeuvres from Bergdorf Goodman's, and that is, if I can find it here, I had it right here, here we go. Their wonderful deviled eggs recipe, which is really the best deviled eggs I've ever had. And then for the main course, from the Audrey at Home cookbook by her son, Andrea Dotti, we will be having her beautiful tricolore caprese salad. And for the main course, we're going to be having this beautiful, wonderful, which I haven't had yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful, wonderful red chicken recipe made with red chilies. So that will be lots and lots of fun. Then for dessert, we'll have chocolate gelato and coffee. So stay tuned, let's see how the party goes. It's the evening before the dinner party. I've spent most of the day cleaning house, dusting and vacuuming and waxing everything to make sure the house is in pretty good shape for receiving guests. And Boots helped me, didn't she? Yeah, she did. So I just finished setting up the dining room table, and I'm going to show that to you, and also the bar and kind of how things are going to look. We have fresh flowers all over the house for the guests to see and enjoy. And there's some reading material. I'm having 3 lovely ladies over, so I put out a lot of things, fashion stuff, and books on Paris, and of course a little James Bond. And there are more fresh flowers. Love white flowers, especially in the wintertime. And then I have the bar set up with my recipe books, cocktails for drinkers and vintage cocktails, and a little homage to Casablanca. Of all the gin joints in all the world, she had to walk into mine. And then here's a setup for the bar. And then here is the dining room table. And I don't have my dining room chairs yet, so I'm using patio chairs that I've covered with old shears. And you can see there are pillows to each one, so it's very comfortable. And you can see the shears are over the old dining room table. I mean, over the old patio chairs. And then here is the setup for dinner. So there you have it. And I measured everything to make sure everything was just so. And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting and fun event. Hi everyone. It's the morning, Sunday morning of the dinner party, and I'm making my deviled eggs and getting ready to start the chicken, because the chicken has to marinate for 8 hours. So I'm bringing the deviled eggs to a gentle boil. Those 6 eggs to a gentle boil. This recipe calls for 3 teaspoons of best quality mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of sweet pickle relish, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, a half teaspoon of Tabasco sauce, or to taste, a pinch of kosher salt, and fresh parsley or paprika or pancetta chips optional. So we bring the eggs to a soft boil, cut the eggs in half, gently remove the yolks, put them in the food processor, set the whites on a plate, hollowed side up, add the mayonnaise, relish, curry, and Tabasco and salt to the yolks and process until smooth. Place the yolk mixture in a piping bag and pipe into the egg white halves. If you don't have the piping bag, which I don't, you snip off the end of a small plastic bag, which we've got right down here, ready to go. And then you garnish each with the sprig. After you've put the piped egg yolk into the egg, then you garnish it with a sprig of parsley, pinch of paprika, or pancetta, if desired. So stay tuned. We're gonna get the whole dinner ready, and in the second video will actually be the dinner party. This is just a preparation video, so stay tuned. So there are the eggs slowly coming to a gentle boil. And I forgot to mention that once it comes to a gentle boil, then you turn the heat off and you put the lid on and you let it sit for 10 minutes, and then it's done. Then you can continue to make the eggs. Chicken in the refrigerator, like the recipe said, to thaw in the refrigerator, or as the directions on the chickens say, I should say, overnight, but it didn't thaw, so I am boiling water and putting it into sink here, and it's almost ready to go. So that's my way of getting it quickly thawed. Recipe in the book, and it calls for 1 can of these beautiful Roma Italian-styled tomatoes that are peeled, and some extra dry vermouth, some red peppers, which I couldn't find any fresh red peppers, so I'm substituting green peppers, which should do all right, with a little dash of this chili pepper paste, and I did buy some dried red peppers, so I'll put 1 or 2 of those in there to give it a little oomph, and also a onion, some dried basil, and pepper, and that's all you need. Oh, extra virgin olive oil, that's really important. And you put the extra virgin olive oil in your pan, then you add the ingredients for this sauce, and then you put the chicken in and you let it marinate for 8 hours. After it's marinated for 8 hours, you set the oven at 350 and you put it into a baking dish, cover that with tin foil, and put it in the oven for 1 hour, and then voila, you have your Audrey Hepburn's red chicken. So I've chopped up my onions, and I'm now going to kind of take chili. Well, oops, I forgot to check something on the recipe, and so I discovered I have to finely chop the peppers. So I'm finely chopping the peppers, and the onions are browning in the saucepan right now. So it's always good to check that recipe 3 or 4 times while you're working on it. When you want to clean your cutting board after cutting, onions and peppers and all that good stuff, I always take an old lemon like this. I've always got some old lemon lying around. Cut it up and just scrub down the surface of the cutting board with the lemon, and then put the remaining lemon down the garbage disposal. So that makes the garbage disposal fresh and makes this nice and fresh too. So you can see that the onions are caramelized perfectly, and we're now going to add the rest of the ingredients. Chili peppers, and I put a couple of dried red chili peppers in there to add to that. 28 ounces of the tomatoes. And we stir it and bring it to a boil. Oh, that looks really, really good. So here are our beautiful deviled eggs ready to go into the refrigerator. for tonight, and then right below it is Audrey Hepburn's red chicken. Yum. That's it. So I will see you at dinner in the next video. Cheers.
Do you think it's trying to tell us something?
I hope you like chicken and saffron rice served with chocolate sauce. It's an East Indian classic, my dear.
3 months ago, I couldn't scramble eggs.
Golly, darling, I did so want to impress you.
Look, I'm not much for chicken with sauce anyway. Why don't we go out somewhere? Let me buy you a farewell dinner.
Oh, that would be fun. As long as it's someplace I can go like this.